Namaskar and a warm welcome to all. It's a pleasure to have you all here as we embark on, so as to say, an intellectual journey to dissect and deliberate upon the National Education Policy 2020. This policy was hailed as a very highly forward-looking framework with the potential to bring about huge transformations within the education sector. However, most of the private schools have raised various questions and concerns regarding its execution, and they're also eager to gain insights into the roadmap for its implementation. Today, we are very fortunate to have Dr. Joseph Emmanuel with us. He will guide us through the process of putting the NEP into action and help us formulate a synchronized roadmap for the journey ahead. And it's now my proud privilege to introduce our distinguished expert, Mr. Joseph Emmanuel, a global thought leader in educational administration. Dr. Joseph Emmanuel is currently working as the academics director of CBSE. He is an ardent proponent of National Education Policy 2020. Prior to this, he has served CBSE in various capacities such as Secretary, Regional Director, and Officer on Special Duty for Medical Entrance Examination, etc. Before joining CBSE, he has served the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as Executive Officer and also worked with different academic and industrial organizations. He has an experience of about 30 years in the field of education. On academic front, he's a postgraduate in commerce and possesses PhD in financial management. Dr. Joseph has played a pivotal role in bringing technology in various functional areas of the board. He has initiated integration of technology with the examination and affiliation process of CBSE. He has also played an active role in setting up of CBSE Centers of Excellence, COE, for the capacity building of teachers at different parts of the country. As an officer on special duty, he has successfully launched the national level single medical entrance examination, NEET, for MBBS and BDS admission for the first time in the country. He has also served as a national project manager of Program for International Students Assessments, PISA, conducted by OECD. Under his guidance, CBSE has brought out more than 70 manuals and handbooks for the support of students, teachers, principals, and parents during the last 5 years. Dr. Joseph is currently leading the implementation of NEP 2020 recommendations in CBSE schools. He has conceptualized and initiated the new projects such as structured assessment for analyzing learning, SAFAL, schools quality assessment in assurance framework, SQAAF, and Center for Excellence in Assessment, CEA. The initiatives of the boards towards competency-focused education, CBE, and assessment are also guided by him. He's also serving as member of various committees formed by the Ministry of Education and various autonomous bodies. He has an experience of about, as I mentioned earlier, 30 years in the field of education. So some quick announcements before I hand over to Dr. Joseph. We will have 10 to 15 minutes at the end. We'll keep them aside for a quick Q&A session. And those wanting to ask or have questions, doubts, may please raise your hand. We shall unmute you and you can then ask your question. And now, without further delay, I will pass on the virtual floor over to you, sir. And you may now take over the reins of this session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sushmaji, for all kind words spoken about me, and thank you for inviting me to address all the educators on this platform. I can see Dr. Hari Sanduja is also joined us. Other names I can't read, but at least Mrs. Sushma Rathodi and Dr. Hari Sanduja, I can recognize. So, a warm greetings to each one of you, all the educators who have joined us on this virtual platform. And all of us are in the field of education, and all of us look for bringing quality education in our institutions as well as in the classrooms where we are engaged with our students. The National Education Policy 2020 came after 34 years. The previous policy came in 1986, then followed by the NCF 2005. And after a huge gap, we have received a national education policy in the year 2020. And subsequent to national education policy, two NCFs have also been received by us. NCF for the early childhood education and care, as well as for the secondary level education. So we are in the process of implementing the vision of NEP in the school system in our country. Basically, the NEP focuses on four major areas: equity, excellent, inclusivity, and access. India at the time of independence was having only 17 to 18% literacy rate. Today, even if our population has gone up to 140 crores, almost 85% of our people have become literate. Again, there is no doubt that miles and miles to go. The approximate 20% illiterate people in our country, they are equal to the population of more than some of the European countries and almost touching the population of Russia and US, 35 crore. So we have many things to do. The country has achieved tremendous progress after independence in the areas of education, healthcare, food production, science and technology. In fact, recently, the Moon Mission of India has inspired every Indian. Ordinary people have done extraordinary work. The engineers came out from the ordinary engineering colleges. The scientists came out from the ordinary schools of India, has done extraordinary work that every Indian should feel proud of. So we have a lot of potential. There is a lot of strength in our education system. But again, on an equitable manner, we need to spread education to all and bring quality to education. So as far as we are capable of doing that process, taking education to all with equity and quality, we will see our nation as a transformed, developed nation. So it's our responsibility as well as our vision and mission to transform our country as a developed nation by providing good quality education to our citizens, the young states. We are blessed with the largest number of young population in the world. More than 50% of our population is youth, which no other country in the world can claim. So there are great potential, there are great opportunities before our people. So let us avail this opportunity. And how can CBSE as a system, as an education board, bringing quality to its affiliated schools by taking various steps based on the recommendation of the National Education Policy 2020. So I will share with you a small presentation with you and discuss the important steps taken by the board in implementing National Education Policy in the affiliated schools. And further, I will also answer to some of the queries. I don't know whether we will get time to address all the queries, but some important queries, Sushma-ji and Harish-ji, both of you can sort out some of the important aspects and share those questions at the end of the session. Then we will be able to answer those questions. Rest of the questions you can compile and share with me. I can send answers. Then further it can be disseminated to your participants. So, yeah, please, presentation. Let me share my presentation. Yeah. So there is a question, we start with the question, whether has the quality of education improved in India compared to what it was before? The National Achievement Survey, State Achievement Survey, surveys conducted by various organizations like Pratham, CBSE's recent initiative of Safal, everything shows that from very poor, little bit of improvement has happened. But we have miles and miles to go. Next. Yeah. So the NAS result of 2021 is a clear indication, from modern Indian languages, science, social science, EVS, mathematics, and languages, in all the subject areas, the maximum achievement is 65%. But majority of the students could not achieve even that grade. So what the national education policy says and what are the major focus areas of the national education policy? The policy says there is a need to shift from rote learning to competency-focused education and assessment, transforming the assessment, tracking students' progress across school years, redesigning report cards to assess holistic development of each child, standard setting and accreditation. These are the major focus areas wherein CBSE has invested after release of the national education policy. So competency-focused education and assessment is a major focus area of the board. Herein, various curricular interventions, pedagogical interventions, assessment reforms, student enrichment activities, development of resource materials and capacity building of teachers, all are clubbed together for improving the quality of teaching and learning in the classroom. So without improving the quality of teaching and learning in the classrooms, we won't be able to achieve the international level quality in the schools in our country. So for ensuring quality, the first step CBSE has taken was to adopt the learning outcomes prepared by the NCERT. So in the year 2019, when the draft national education policy was out, NCERT has also come out with the learning outcome document from classes 1 to 12. So we have adopted as it is. And this document will clearly give direction to the teachers. What are the expected learning outcome after teaching each topic or concept or chapter in the classroom? So learning outcome document will enable the teachers to direct their teaching learning in the desired manner and take active measures without delay. Ensure enabling conditions to allow each child to learn and progress. So, it's a teaching learning that suits to the need of the learner. That is very important. Enable parents to monitor in the process of learning of their wards. Ensure assessment for learning and assessment as learning. So all these are part of the learning outcome based teaching and learning or the competency focused education that we have adopted for the CBSE system. So in this competency focused education, assessment for learning and assessment as learning both have very significant role. Assessment for learning is a tool used by the teachers in the classroom, whereas assessment as learning is a tool used by the learner himself for promotion of learning. So an empowered group of people, teachers, parents, learners themselves will come together, work together for achieving this ambitious objective. That is the core of competency-focused education. So for promoting competency-focused education, CBSE has come out with a number of resource material. This TEM document, 10, Teacher Energized Resource Manual from class 6 to 10. So this document clearly highlights the NCERT textbook, NCERT chapters, the concept, and the learning outcome, how these things have been linked. So aligned to NCERT learning outcome, we have released these books for classes 6 to 10 in these areas of science and mathematics. So this is the first step taken by the board towards implementing competency-focused education. Similarly, teachers' resource for achieving learning outcome. This is a document from grade 1 to 10. All the classes from grade 1 to 10, all the subjects are covered, major subjects, that is science, mathematics, social science, English and Hindi. These 5 subjects have been covered in this document. You can use this resource also to promotion of competency focused education. So this is 2-level courses is another step taken by the board. So every child should get equal opportunity to learn and come out in life. So providing learning opportunity as per the need of the learner. The 2-level courses have been implemented. These have been implemented largely in language area, English, Hindi, Urdu, Sanskrit. All these subjects we have introduced multiple courses. Similarly, in mathematics, both standard mathematics and basic mathematics 2-level assessment has been introduced. And at +2 level again, applied mathematics and standard mathematics have been introduced. And also to promote active classroom teaching and learning, life skills and value education, art integrated learning, mandatory health and physical education, social empowerment through work education and action. All these disciplines have been integrated with the regular teaching and learning, so that child's overall personality development should happen along with the regular teaching and learning. That is the ambition. Life skill education is all the more important. 21st century skills, thinking skills, entrepreneurial skills, emotional skills, social skills. In fact, it is the life skills developed by the learner that helps him to be successful in life. So all the resource material developed towards life skill education has been available. They have been made available on the website of CBSE. These are some of the glimpses of the documents available. All these resources are available on the CBSE's academic website. You can access this document and use it for promotion of active learning in the classroom, experiential learning in the classroom, to bring concept connected to real life scenario. So that is very important in promoting competency focused education. Life skill measurement too. At the end, the teachers are not able to measure whether the learner has achieved life skills, certain level of life skills. So to support the teachers, life skill measurement tools are also being brought out by CBSE. For classes 6 to 8, it is almost ready. We are bringing it in partnership with UNICEF, and grade 9 to 12 is under preparation. Those documents will also be released to the schools very soon, so that the teachers will get an idea how to measure life skills among the students, achievement of life skills among the students. Art integrated learning, it's an innovative pedagogy, innovative way of teaching, multidisciplinary approach. Art and the subject area is clubbed together, and art form is used to demonstrate teaching in the classroom. So it's the best way of promoting experiential learning in the classroom, as well as to connect the learner with the roots. So in the NEP also there is a lot of emphasis on art and sport integrated learning. So pedagogical interventions, what are the pedagogical interventions done by the board? For first is, designating principals as pedagogical leader, implementation of experiential learning pedagogies like arts and sports integrated storytelling, toy-based learning and gaming, introduction of art integrated project to work for classes 1 to 10. Compulsorily, every child has to do one art integrated project from grade 1 to 3rd. Reorienting pedagogical approaches for implementing CB, advocacy of experiential learning. Experiential learning is missing in our classroom. We need to bring back that element into the classroom to promote active learning. So, various books, resources developed in this area. There is a handbook on experiential learning. There are comic books, mathematical literacy practice book for students, handbook on art integration, handbook on joyful learning, reading literacy, joyful teaching learning in mathematics, Satrangi Udan, Hindi literacy competition based, competency based workbook. So many resources have been developed and provided on the website of CBSE. You can download it, you can use it free of cost, you can get it printed. There's no copyright reserved by CBSE. But make use of these resources for promotion of competency-focused education and active learning in the classroom. Any area of competency-focused education, you will get resources on the website of CBSE. Suppose if you feel that any more area needs to be covered, you can write to us. We will come out with the supporting documents. Interactive online course for teachers on competency-focused education is available on the microsite at the academic website. There is a CB, competency-based education microsite. This interactive course, online course is available, and this is the visible example of the CBSE microsite. Make use of these resources. Development of lesson plans for competency-based education. This is another pedagogical intervention done by the board. Sample lesson plans in the subject areas of English, science and mathematics from grade 6 to 10. So there are sample lesson plan, sample assessment items, and learning connected with the learning outcome. Everything is synchronized. So you can use these resources. These resources have been developed with the support of Cambridge and British Council. So very resourceful tools, you can use it. And for strengthening our assessment and examination, it's a gradual process. As you are aware, every year CBSE is adding 10% competency focused question in its board examination. And this journey started from the year 1920. So now the more focus is given on authentic assessment, making board examinations low stake and less stressful by focusing on learning outcomes and core competencies, strengthening of formative assessment in the internal examination, multiple modes of assessment by combining different types, selective response or constructed response questions, capacity building of functionaries in the assessment to align with the reforms, undertaking psychometric analysis and action research to improve the quality of assessment. Both at the school level and board level, this action research is happening now. We are also engaging multiple agencies to support CBSE for building of capacity. So in this process, one important area we have identified is the teachers also need huge capacity building. Our teachers are not familiar to develop application-oriented questions. Good quality application-oriented question cannot be created by teachers. So we are in the discussion with the multiple agencies. Already we are entering into an MOU with Asim Premji University, Bangalore, for implementing a course for the teachers on item development. So this course is now available for teachers. Item development is one area wherein we need to invest a lot for promotion of learning, both in the classroom as well as assessment of learning at the board exam as well as school exam level. So huge capacity building is required for our functionaries. This is the step-by-step process taken, the initiatives taken by the board from 2021 onwards till the coming board examination. So in the coming board examination, there will be 50% competency-based questions of class 10 and 40% questions in class 12 will be competency-based. Now we are almost at the grade 1, level 1, 2, 3 of Bloom's taxonomy, but we have to go up to the 4th or 5th ladder in the years to come. Once our system is familiar with the competency-focused, application-oriented, higher-order thinking skill questions, when we feel that, when we get sufficient feedback from the mechanisms that our school system is now robust enough to handle this kind of question and children have been groomed in the right direction, then we will slowly and steadily move to the more and more application-oriented, higher-order thinking skill questions in the board examination. So these are the support resources developed by the board for promotion of competency-focused education and assessments, manuals and handbook, workbook for students, question banks, online self-assessment program, learning standard framework, sample question papers, practice papers. In fact, there are almost 10,000 sample questions mapped to CBSE curriculum or the NCERT curriculum and learning outcome have been uploaded on the website. Sample lesson plans are available. Make use of these resources. First of all, you should be aware that these resources, free of cost, are available on the website of CBSE, and where all these resources can be used, you map these resources with your requirement and start using it. Learning framework. This is learning standard framework developed by the CBSE. This is a connecting document between the NCERT's textbook concept and the learning outcome. And there are also exemplar questions given in this document to measure the achievement of learning outcome by the teachers in the classroom. This is a very powerful resource that can be used by the teachers for promotion of learning in the classroom, as well as measuring achievement of learning outcome by students by the teachers. So in class 10, class 9 and 10, these resources are available. Again, for classes 11 and 12, these resources have been just released. These are some more books on assessment released by the board. A handbook for assessment and evaluation. This is how a reliable and valid test can be designed. This is a handbook for teachers. Essential concept, how the teachers can measure achievement of learning outcome as well as understanding of learning concepts by the learner. Very simple questions on the key areas are given. Then guidelines for paper setters and moderators, guidelines for test development and review. There is another handbook. These are all resources for the teachers. Learning framework resources for classes 11 and 12 in all major subject areas of 11 and 12. In science area, mathematics, humanities and commerce, languages, English and Hindi. In all these areas, these resources have been developed. These resources are also very powerful resources that can be used by the teachers. Teachers should use it. A lot of resources have been created for promotion of competency-focused education, assessment and active learning in the classroom. There is also video series on assessment and evaluation available on the microsite, CVE site. Development of competency-based questions. I said there are more than 10,000 questions available. These questions have been developed with the support of the international agencies like British Council Educational Initiative, ACER, Australian Council of Education and Research, Asim Premji University. Multiple agencies have supported CBSE in developing these resources. These item banks are available. Class-wise, class 6 to 10, these resources are available. There are limited number of 11-12 documents are also available. So please make use of these resources for promotion of competency-focused education. Practice book for students of classes 9 and 10, science and mathematics. These are again hands-on experience. These are all books that help learners to promote hands-on experiential learning, hands-on experience. These books promote hands-on experience on various areas. Student enrichment activities are also designed to promote various cognitive abilities and affective abilities of the learner. Science exhibition, it is an initiative to promote science and increase awareness among the stakeholders about the close relationship between science, technology, and society. Heritage India Quiz has been developed with the purpose of creating awareness about the rich cultural heritage of our country and promote its preservation. Aryabhatta Ganesh Challenge is aiming to develop reasoning abilities, problem-solving skills, critical and analytical thinking skills among the learner. CBSE Games and Sports, healthy mind and healthy body, and promotion of sports, these activities. Expression series, reading challenge, storytelling competition, programs initiated by Government of India like Swachhata Abhiyan, Veer Gatha, all multiple programs are promoted by the board, and every program is designed with a purpose and encourage maximum number of students to participate in this program so that everyone will benefit. Here, participation is important than winning. If you are able to encourage your children to participate in this competition, you have halfway you have achieved. You have done. You have achieved the target. So later they will come up in life by their own, but give them an opportunity to come up and express themselves and be part of holistic development. This Budding Authors program, Adolescents and Peer Educators Leadership program, another life skill program, Science Challenge, Mission Lifestyle for Environment Life. All these are various initiatives of the board for promoting competency-focused development and holistic development of the learner. So, in nutshell, these are the various initiatives. Some initiative taken by the board for promotion of pedagogical practices and content development, capacity building of the teachers, and assessment reforms for all together creates an enabling environment for competency-focused education in the CBSE system. So from your side, what are the suggestive actions for implementation of the competency-focused education? Let us see what are the roles of the school leaders and teachers. So design pedagogical plans in coherence with the specific and measurable LOs. Display posters of the compact learning outcome in classroom and sensitize parents on the various competencies that their child is expected to achieve at a given level. First of all, teachers should be aware of the learning outcome and the competency. Then share it with the parents. And as a collective effort, both teachers and parents together will support the learner to achieve the cognitive as well as affective learning outcomes. Integrate art education, health and physical education, life skill education, and values education, inclusive elements in the curriculum for the real life connect. Ensure planning of lessons by integrating experiential learning, art integrated learning, storytelling, sports integrated activities. Download all CBSE handbooks, manuals from the CBSE website and arrange discussions among the teachers and students. This is very important. For bringing a small change in the society, we need to bring a big change in the minds of the people. So bringing everyone together is a major challenge. So these are some of the suggestive activities that you can initiate. You are also free to adopt your own way of implementing competency-focused education in the school. But your aim should be to shift the teaching learning from the rote memory-based teaching learning to competency-focused, more application-oriented, connecting learning with the real-life scenario. Structured assessment for analyzing learning. This is a tool developed by the CBSE in promoting competency-focused education. The NEP recommends for key stage assessment at grade 3, 5, and 8. And as an answer to this call, CBSE has developed a SAFL. There will be competency-focused assessment at grade 3, 5, and 8. Test for grade 5 and 8 is already ready. Last year, pilot has been conducted in almost 2,000 schools and more than 4 lakh students participated. Grade 3 assessment design is yet to be completed. But these are all very powerful tools to help the learners as well as the school system to bridge the gap, the learning gap, if any, existing from the initial days, to support the learners in the journey of teaching and learning. So data is a very powerful tool. Data will never lie. You get a clear idea about the performance level of the child in each subject area, basically science, language, and mathematics. And these questions of SAFL are internationally benchmarked questions. These are all delivered through IT platform to minimize any sort of misuse. But I call upon every school to be part of SAFL and make maximum benefit out of it. The purpose of SAFL is to nudge the system towards competency-focused learning, identify areas of academic intervention. For example, suppose all the students are not able to answer a particular question. So that means that is an indication that the concept is not clear to the children. So the teachers can also focus on those areas and remediation can be done. Similarly, the gifted nature of students can be identified. And if there is any intervention is required at any level, because it's a diagnostic tool, and diagnosis at the right time for the students as well as the school system. So right intervention at the right time for the right people. That is the objective. And this is not a competition. There is no pass-fail attached to it. And in the long term, publicly disclosed school quality information will make the schools accountable to the students, parents, and the society as a whole. So there are some interesting data available. We will show you. These are our key principles of SAFL. SAFL test design assessment will be delivered in 3 curricular areas. I have already discussed. Students will take mock assessment on the test delivery platform designed by CDAC. This Shuffle will happen on an IT platform. CBSE has already issued a circular regarding the minimum IT infrastructure requirement and the internet connectivity and speed, etc. Please follow those guidelines to avail the benefit of Shuffle test. And these are all multiple choice questions as of now, but in the days to come, when we stabilize this assessment, then more and more descriptive questions can also be part of Shuffle assessment. So that technology facilitation is yet to happen, but we are in the process of developing that kind of assessment too. So this Shuffle assessment framework, this is also available on the microsite of Shuffle, attached to the academic website. Have a look at these documents. You will get a clear idea about the vision, objective, as well as the assessment strategies, thought about the Shuffle process. And these are all adopted from the internationally benchmarked assessment in consultation with so many experts in the areas of school education, higher education, both from India and abroad. Shuffle pilot testing has happened and very successfully we have done. Psychometric analysis is attached to it. Administratively, there are certain aspects, English or Hindi subject language. This I have already covered. And this is the statistics of number of district, number of schools, number of states involved in Shuffle. So more than 4 lakh students participated in Shuffle. And the result of Shuffle, it's a very, very interesting thing. There are 4 indicators below basic, proficient, and advanced. So in each subject, EVS, mathematics, and language, let us see what is the performance. So out of the total 4 lakh students, 19.63% are below basic in EVS. Again, 13.9% is below basic in mathematics, and 39.62% is below basic in language. So this is an eye-opener for all of us. We always boast ourselves that CBSE system is one of the best in the country, but our best schools are also struggling to cope up with that competency-focused assessment because our system is not tuned. So we have to prepare ourselves and we have to handhold our children. We have to support our teachers in adopting competency-focused education because these are all purely competency-focused questions with higher order thinking skill and lot of reading load. These questions were not the normal questions that we are familiar with. Again, basic level, again, you can see EVS, 34.84%, again, mathematics 34.54%, language 11.26%. So both together, more than 50% of our learners needs strong support to come out from the learning gaps from early years. So this is the right time. This is an eye-opener. So everybody can plan for it. Everybody can make remedial action and help the children to achieve learning outcome as well as expected level of proficiency at each level. So advanced level is very less. But our objective should be that proficiency level should be achieved by everyone. So at least 60 to 70% of our children should have proficiency, age appropriate or class appropriate level proficiency. So these questions are purely based on application based questions. Now there is a disconnect between the board exam questions as well as this kind of application based questions. But in the years to come, both Shuffle assessment, class assessment, and board assessment all will be based on competency focused, application oriented, higher order questions. So seamless integration will happen. So through that, we are in the process or we are aiming to achieve competency focused education in the school system. Grade 8 level result is also similar, you can see. So basic and below basic is almost 60% in science, and mathematics, that is also again 55, 60%. Languages, of course, again more than 60%, almost 70%. So language is a major concern because Language learning is a key to learning in other subject areas. Learn to read to learn. So this is a very, very important area and area of concern. All of you should give proper attention to develop reading skills in your learners. CBSE's reading mission is also to promote reading skills among the children, but reading with comprehension is a very important skill to tackle this kind of questions and 21st century assessment strategies in the days to come. So this is a grade 8 result of SAFL. So, implications of the SAFL result, these are the, implications of SAFL result, making curricular adjustments by modifying teaching methods and materials within the school. It's an eye-opener, and according to the SAFL result, we need to revamp our teaching learning that is happening in the early years up to middle level and secondary and senior secondary level classes. Teachers' capacity building is one of the very focus area. Without capacity building, this change will not happen. And strategic planning to ensure consistent focus on enhancing student learning. So this is the time we should plan, we should develop strategy, we should build capacity for the teachers and the school system, and collectively we need to tackle this problem. So comprehensive digital assessment platform, this is the platform on which SAFL test is happening. So in the years to come, gradually this can be used for assessing the grade 10, grade 12 children also once it is fully conditioned to the requirements of the board. Holistic progress card, of course, you are aware, 360-degree feedback to the learners, school system and the parents on the performance level of the learner, the wards. So grade-wise proficiency will be marked. There will be a lot of informal assessment attached to it, self-assessment attached to it, and it indicates progress in cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains of the child. Interactive questionnaires for parents, teachers, and students are also given, and teacher assessment is also part of the holistic progress card. And this is aligned with the NEP and Bharat mission, foundational literacy and numeracy programs of the Government of India. So holistic progress card, it's a combination of a child's own expression of self as well as the teacher's assessment of the child on the mentioned standard. It presents a picture of the student's progress and provides evidence as well as an opportunity to a child to present his or her growth in the progress review over years. Acts as a baseline level for each student before the beginning of any new session. There's multiple objective advantages, and you will get a clear idea of students' performance from early years till grade 12. As long as the child is with the school system, these documents are available. These documents, again, provide huge data to the stakeholders, particularly to the learner, to bring changes in the pattern of learning, as well as it gives a clear indication to the aptitude, abilities, and various capabilities of the learner, so that a future can be carved out based on the feedback given by holistic progress card. So it tracks child's progress over a period of time. It makes parents an integral part of the child's learning process, helps to mark the status of each child's learning for foundational literacy and numeracy skills. So there are assessment strategies of holistic progress card. There are multiple tools are being used: observation, feedback from parents, checklist, discussion with children, portfolio, task-based assessment. All are part of holistic progress card to assessment tools. So principal's role is to create a conducive environment for implementation of HPC, to provide monitoring guidelines to the teachers for the implementation, create space for parents to learn and participate in their child's overall development. An enabling environment needs to be created by the school heads and teachers for bringing HPC as a routine, regular, healthy practice within the school. And the data will enable everyone, all the stakeholders, to track progress towards achievement of the goal. It's a It's all benefit. It's a win-win situation. A pilot study. This is a replica of the holistic progress card. So pilot has been conducted in almost 74 schools. There is a microsite you can visit and view. School quality assessment is the next intervention of the board for supporting the school to enhance the quality. The NEP clearly recommends, and CBSE has been appointed as standard setting authority in this area for the central government run schools. SCORE framework has been developed, and SCORE framework has also been uploaded on the website. So now, whenever a school goes for extension of affiliation, they have to compulsorily undergo the SCORE process. So there are 7 domains: curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, infrastructure, human resource, inclusive practices, management and governance, leadership, beneficiary satisfaction. Here also there will be 4 levels, and schools can measure themselves against the standards and understand what is the level of their institution and develop strategic plan for improving the performance. So these are the guiding principles. Comprehensive self-assessment tool aligned with the NEP guidelines. No differential set of assessment for government schools or private schools. All are evaluated on the same parameters. Learner at the center stage of standards framework, focus on continuous schools improvement plan. It's not necessary that every school is equally good enough in all areas. It's a continuous process. But everybody should realize the need of bringing quality and attaining certain standards in the functioning of the schools. And if it is not there, strive to bring those excellence in your school system. So these are the framework divided into 7 domains. You have seen it. All the stakeholders are part of it. Provisions of safety checklists marked with NEP 2020 recommendation, defined rubrics against each standard, information disclosure form, everything is part. And there are also 4 levels, level 1, 2, 3, 4. It is basically like basic, below basic, basic, proficient or advanced, same kind of indicator. Schools can very well understand where are they standing. And based on the realistic assessment, they can develop strategies for improving the school performance. So pilot study has been done, and it has been very successful. Then mentors have been trained. Now we are in the process of developing more and more vendors to support the school system. So our objective is to reach out to every school in an unthreatening manner without affecting the affiliation of the school. Every school should get a chance to invest and improve in the functional areas. So it is well received by the schools, and many of them say that it is an eye-opener, a chance to get ready-made tool that helps us to align with NEP. So many advantages are there. So once you use these tools, you will also experience the same thing as experienced by those who have already done SCORE process. So spirit of SCORE is self-reflection, accountability, collaboration, and innovation. So SCORE with affiliation, I have already said. Now for extension of affiliation, it's a prerequisite. School has to do it compulsorily. Once in every 5 years, compulsorily school has to do is shuffle. SCORE. The next is Prayog. It's a Pradhan Acharya Yojana for growth. It has been already launched. Almost 19,000 teachers have taken the benefit of Prayog. Not teachers, school leaders. And the objective was to familiarize the school heads about the new initiative of the board. And 19,000 out of the 28,000 schools, 19,000 have already undergone this training. And for the left out principals and teachers, we will organize subsequent programs. So all the initiatives of the board, innovative pedagogy, art integrated learning, competency focused education, pedagogical leadership, experiential learning, storytelling, competency focused assessment, inclusive education, sports integrated learning, environment education, life skill education, holistic progress card, shuffle SCORE, all these areas were properly explained through the Prayog training program. This was an online training program designed for the school leaders. So it's your leadership, your commitment, your initiative that will help us to achieve the ambitious objectives of NEP 2020. Your individualized consideration, inspirational motivation, idealized influence, intellectual stimulation, all are required for achieving this organizational change. So I end with a famous quote of Mahatma Gandhi: "Be the change that you would like to see it in this world." Thank you. I stop here. Over to you, Sushmaji.
So we have 10 minutes for Q&A session, and we'll unmute those who have questions to ask, some important, pertinent questions. So if you raise your hand, we're going to ask you, we're going to unmute you straight away. Mr. Abdul Sami has a question. So can he be unmuted, please? Yes.
Good evening. Good evening.
Screen share हटा दीजिए तो चंदा नहीं आ रही.
Am I audible out there?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. And good evening, sir. Good evening. Well, I am Abdul Sami from Bharatiya International School.
Can you speak a little louder? I can't.
Can you be loud? Can you be louder, please? Your question.
My question, am I audible now? Is it better?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I am from Uttarakhand. This is Bharatiya International School. I teach English and I teach sustainability as well. So my question is CBSE planning anything for the promotion of sustainability, across all these schools? And how can we, involve parents and students more for sustainability?
So, very good question. NEP and SDG 4 goals, both are completely aligned. Sustainable development is a key for NEP implementation. So, here, role of parents, teachers, students, and the community as a whole, everything is envisaged. In the whole process, the school leaders, the school heads has to involve all the stakeholders. So, there is a clear indication we have given, and now it has to be practiced through the institutions. So let us hope in the days to come, it will roll out very well, and we will achieve the ambitious aims of NEP. Everything is completely aligned with SDG goals, and sustainability is very important. All the activities will be shared with all the stakeholders to achieve sustenance. Hope I have cleared.
So now we have one more question coming from Ms. Suvarna. Can we unmute her, please?
Hello, good evening, sir. Good evening, all. No doubt it was a wonderful session. But I'm a computer teacher from DPS Nashik. Actually, I just explored the material, the site you told earlier. We were exploring, but sorry to say, we don't have material. Much material for computer and like activity subjects. We are mostly focusing on math, science, and English. Yeah, as it's a digital era, why the material is not and resources not available for computers?
Yeah, you have a point, but there are so many skill subjects we have introduced. Artificial intelligence.
Yeah. We have
subjects are there. You don't need any particular guidance. You put your mind and guide children in doing projects in those areas. Naturally, it will become an activity-based learning by doing. And if you let us know what are your concerns in this area, then we can work on it also. But so many, we have done so much in these skill-based subjects.
So the next question is from Ms. Sakshi. Can we unmute her? Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir, for an enriching session. My question is, there's confusion regarding children who are currently in KG and nursery, as per NEP, they will be moving forward to grade 1, or they will be, as per the current criteria, the age criteria. So there are a lot of parent queries regarding the same. If you could just help us understand that, is this applicable for children who are now taking admission in nursery, or is it also applicable for children who are currently in KG? Will they be moving forward, who are less than, say, 4 years, 5 years? Uh, 6 years, they'll not be meeting the criteria. So please, if you could help us understand that.
You are from which state?
Sakshi, can you unmute yourself, please?
From which state you are from?
So I wasn't able to unmute. We are in Haryana. I'm from Lotus Valley International, Gurgaon.
Yeah. So in Haryana, what is the minimum age criteria prescribed by the state government? So NEP clearly says, let me explain it. NEP clearly says, the early childhood education should begin from the age of 3. So from early childhood education, there are 3 levels of preschool as per the new national education policy: early childhood education and care, that is from age 3 to 8. So accordingly, the minimum age for admission to class 1 comes to 6 years.
Right.
And there are states that follow 5-year age criteria. It all depends upon state to state. NEP's wish has to be accepted by every state to implement it in the respective state area. So what CBSE has decided, wherever CBSE has schools, they should follow the respective age criteria of the state government. Kendriya Vidyalayas have already implemented 6 years age criteria for the central government institutions. Navodaya Vidyalaya, of course, the admission is from class 6, so minimum age does not apply. But all central government institutions, by and large, follow that 6 years age criteria. But again, we have taken a stand that we allow our schools to follow the age criteria of the state wherever the schools are located. Hope it is clear to you.
So the next question is from Pankaj Rathore. Can we unmute him, please?
Good evening, sir, and thank you for such a great session. But sir, one thing I would like to ask as a teacher, that when we do our Bachelor of Education, so do we have any module being introduced in higher education for the teachers by CBSE or any other body, so that they can learn all these changes at the time of their own education as a teacher, rather than coming to school as an untrained teacher?
A very, very valid point. No, see, there are 4 NCF are coming out. 2 have already come, the related to early childhood and secondary education. But the NCF for teacher education, being released by the NCT, National Council of Teacher Education, they are the apex body for teacher education. They prescribe syllabus and other, criteria for the higher education, particularly for the BA courses. They are coming out with a document, and the syllabus, curriculum, and the assessment of BEd courses. Already they have introduced 4-year BEd courses. This year, entrance exam has also been introduced and admission to the BEd course. So these are all various steps taken by the higher education. So from higher education onwards, this handholding will happen. So we need to enhance the quality of higher educational institutions to get good quality teachers. So everyone is aware of that, and work is going in that direction also. Maybe in the days to come, we get good quality teachers from the higher education institution, but at the same time, the existing teachers also need hand-holding. They also need support. That is why CBSE has set up Center of Excellence for Teachers, and similarly, every organization like Kendriya Vidyalaya, Navodaya Vidyalaya, all of them have their own teacher training institutes. Even the private organizations have set up teacher training institute, because teacher training is a must. Continuous professional development is a must for our teachers, and majority of our present generation teachers, they have never experienced experiential learning during their school days and college days. Particularly, they need support. That is why, when we call teachers for item development, we seldom get good quality items, because they don't know. They have not been trained. their thinking has not been aligned to application-oriented questions. So we have loads to do, many things to do. We have a lot of investment should happen in that area. So we need to focus on the capacity building of the existing teachers as well as the teachers who are going to come from the higher education system. But this initiative has been taken by the NCTE and the Government of India, and in the days to come, we'll get more and more quality teachers.
So one more question from Ms. Shalini Nambiar. Can we unmute her, please?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, sir. Very informative session. Really appreciate and want to thank you for the same. A lot of things were clear. And as a lot of people have written in the chat, would love to have the PPT so we can go through it in detail. My question is, as an educator, we waited for 30 years for this document, and it's a very progressive document, extremely excited to implement it. I just have one question. The NEP, it emphasizes the importance of, standardized examination and encourages, that's what I read, board exams at multiple levels, even at the early years. Now grade 3, 5, and 8. So don't you think it will lead to more, excessive focus on grades and performances, compromising what the NEP stands for? So I had this doubt, so I thought I must ask you.
It's all, it all depends upon how you implement it. So when we have implemented, we thought about it very deeply and decided that it should be disconnected from pass-fail. The moment you attach pass-fail with that kind of an assessment, it will become high-stake. So a low-stake assessment, in order to provide feedback to the school system and the stakeholders, have been designed. So you will come to know what is the level of performance, and it should be completely stress-free. In a stress-free environment, the children should come and participate, because there is no scope for that rote learning and by hearting things. If the child understands the concept, the child will be able to answer these kind of questions. There's absolutely no scope for by hearting. So as usual, in a joyful manner, they can come to the classroom, go to the computer lab, give the test, go away, and you will get the feedback. So absolutely there is no stress on children, and we will not use it for pass-fail, whereas it gives a lot of insight and feedback to all the stakeholders. That is the way we are going to implement it. In fact, we have already taken steps to implement it. Safal, absolutely there will not be any high stake attached to it, and it will be implemented in a stress-free environment. It will be on the pattern of international examinations like, TIMSS, PEARLS, and similar assessment happening. Questions will be of that quality. But if that, the level 6 question of PISA is used in our assessment, no child will be able to answer. Very few will answer, but that is not the aim. So gradually, when we get data from the assessment that now our children are, learned enough to tackle this kind of question, or they have been, trained enough to handle this kind of question, then we will go for higher order questions, further raise the quality of standards. Our aim is to take our Indian education at international level.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Including SQA. SQA also implemented in an unthreatening manner. So that is why it has not been connected with affiliation.
Yeah.
So, whether you score less or more, doesn't matter. It will not affect your affiliation status. It will be again a self-improvement tool for the school system. So every reform is being implemented in an unthreatening manner by involving the stakeholders. So first of all, you understand what for these reforms are happening and how these reforms are going to help you in improving the quality of teaching learning in your schools and the classroom. Then only you will be able to bring and fully go with these reforms. Particularly pedagogical leadership and pedagogical plan, the school heads and school leaders. Mostly, people do not understand what is pedagogical leadership. There is no vision for our institutions. What is our yearly plan? What is our annual plan? How the teachers can be, involved in the development of school without giving stress. All those, the lessons and, principles we need to follow in implementing NEP. So in general, how we understand NEP, how we implement NEP, that is equally important to create a cohesive environment.
Thank you, sir.
So just one more last question. I see a lot of raised hands, but we'll take last question. Sir, do you have time to answer one more question?
Yeah, one more. Last question.
There was one participant, Hema Malini, who had asked this question in the chat box. How can we help the children with the special education needs if the number of competency-based questions become 50%? It is good move for the children with good knowledge. But if a child wants to study science with special needs, how does this framework help? So this was one of the questions.
So here is a challenge. We have the present pattern of assessment has certain restrictions. Of course, CBSE gives a lot of accommodation to the specially able children, but we are also in the process of designing a disability-specific assessment for the specially able children. No child should be left behind. No child should be left out. So we are in the process of developing a strategy for them too. So let us see how it will come out.
So one more question from somebody who's been raising his hand for quite some time. LR?
This is the last one. Okay.
Yes, this is the last one. I don't think so. We can unmute. Who else wants to answer? Who wants to question? Sorry, not answer. Archana Mehra. Can we unmute Archana Mehra?
There are a lot of Archana Mehras there. So
okay.
Better is to ask Medha Scott.
Okay.
All right. A very good evening, sir. Thank you. I was almost losing hope of getting a chance to speak. Sir, I have followed up, and there is a great deal of clarity today from what we have so far heard and read about NEP. Thank you so much for the same. My question is with regard to professional development for teachers. Since the new policy that teachers need to do certain number of hours with CBSE, I wanted to know that the portal does not offer so many opportunities because online courses get full very quickly before we even get to know about it. So would there be a possibility to widen this particular scope so that more and more teachers are able to avail? Because looking at time constraints, sometimes online is a more preferred mode.
Okay, I will raise your concern with my colleagues here. Then I don't have a certain answer. There are certain reasons why online trainings have been restricted, because there are certain observations related to that. But your concern, I will share with my colleagues. But 50 hours of professional development is a mandatory thing for all the teachers. 25 hours of training by CBSE and 25 hours by the school or by your end. You can avail that 25-hour training from any source, from Diksha, or there are organizations conducting training program for the schools. From any source you can avail those training. But 25 minimum, why we have kept from CBSE? Because we have to ensure that every teacher should get minimum hours of training. So for that purpose, and online training is it has its merit and demerit both. So there are you are a teacher, you can avail they will log in to the training platform and they may not be giving attention, and all those problems are there. A lot of feedbacks from different directions have come. That is why this call has been taken. But this there is a concern. Everybody should get equal opportunity to avail training. So that concern I will share. I will raise it in the board. I'll share with my colleagues.
Still a lot of raised hands and a lot of questions in the chat box, but due to paucity of time, we cannot take them further.
All remaining questions can be sent to me.
Yeah, so these questions can be posted to us and we'll pass them on to Dr. Joseph.
And I'll send it back to you. Okay.
So thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable insights on NEP 2020 and its implementations. Your insights have given us fresh perspectives and a clearer roadmap for action. We are grateful for your time and expertise, and which I would say, I think everybody would agree with me on this. And I would say thank you to all the participants also for their active engagement and very insightful questions. So we want to affirm our unwavering commitment to realizing the objectives of the policy and providing quality education to all. So as we move forward, let's remain committed to working together to harness the full potential of NEP 2020 and to, of course, create a brighter future for education in for our nation. So once again, thank you to everyone for being part of this enlightening session. And thank you, sir, once again, on behalf of Jaipuria Group and STAR. And one quick announcement for those who have stayed back that we are conducting, we are very excited that we're conducting a National Teachers Olympiad, which is scheduled for December 9th and 10th. It is an online event. And for further details, you can log on to nto.star.in. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, ma'am.